Alright, so as you maybe can see if my camera feels like cameraing today, Samsung, holy shit. Okay, so as you can see now, Samsung, I actually put the feet on the chassis, which is about as exciting as it sounds. You want almost certainly a magnetic screwdriver. I know I'm old school and cheap. That's why I'm building with AMD, because I just need it to work. Put the feet on because I needed some way. I'm doing this all solo. I needed some legitimate way to get the screws in. Long story short, this was an incredible balancing act. You know, obviously I'm using different things and have tried all manners of boxes. Basically, looking at the back side of this in various orientations, I had the whole computer face down for a minute, just kind of lining it up with the radiator. But you can just kind of see one of the screws here, and I didn't put, you can see all of them in. There is one back up here under these wires, which was a bit of a pain. There's one here. It's supposed to put a second one in both places, and all the way up at the top there's room to put 2 total. I have 1 total. And this is just the first point where I'm comfortable moving my supports. Because it's held in place. I don't know about being held in place with, you know, the 8 gallons of water that are going to go into it. Samsung, would you please work with me? Alright, we got focus again. So yeah, a couple of the screws that came with the EK radiator were maybe milled wrong, or I don't know. I was finding I had to put way too much force to that's 100% the wrong direction. I'd used way too much force to get a couple of screws in, so I just aborted those screws, and I'll mess with it in a minute. This is my first look at the form. Pretty freaking ugly. God damn, that is hideous, huh? P3 480 radiator. It was a sincere pain in the ass, guys, doing that with one person. Took probably 30 minutes top to bottom, and still a bit sketchy. There's not going to be too much weight. Fans don't weigh much, 4 of them, you know, a bunch of water. I'll make sure that I really wrench down all the screws on the back when it's time. That time is not now, because I'm going to be taking the whole thing apart after the fact to paint the radiator and every damn thing else on it. So long story short, you can 100% mount a 480 radiator on the P3. Give you some idea of where I put the base of it. That's clear space down there. What can I use for scale? I will use appropriately EK's water block box for scale. I suck at this video making, huh? So, basic screwdriver, my hand. You can see how much space is back in there, right? So it's maybe a centimeter, a little less than a centimeter, from the lowest opening of the lowest SSD tray. I think that's what that is. Yeah, so it can be done. It's a huge balancing act. Screws are tiny, but we're getting there. So what's next? I think I'm going to keep building out the front of it. Oh, it's going to start taking shape here, guys. Oh, I'm excited. See you in a minute. Hey, just a quick note back. A little while ago, I mentioned that effectively this motherboard is the Taichi. What is it? X399 is functionally an enterprise motherboard. That's not really factual. I say that because it's handling the CPU. I think it does support ECC memory. I'm not sure. It doesn't have the super duper network card, just the proper network card. You know, the other more gaming centric builds from other manufacturers have different heat sinks. This one has two. This is a proper heat sink, which I think passes in some capacity based on a review I saw down. Hands off some of the heat to this other guy. But I just wanted to clarify, you know, it's just the affordability now of these devices that let me compare it so closely to enterprise systems, because it was not long ago that you properly had. I mean, this may be the point where, you know, actual professional functionalities in a desktop form factor. In my opinion, it is. I mean, you can slam a bunch of shit in, but I always felt limited by not being able to get dual Xeon processors because of cost for this amount of threads and doing the heavy lifting. This is not the EPIC processor. Would be awesome if it was, but the EPIC is AMD's proper enterprise grade processor, and you know, they cost accordingly, as do the boards, as do all the components, etc., etc. I'm planning on doing artistic animation and design. I don't need the certification, validation, or scientific reliability that's needed to create physical structures and, you know, life-dependent systems. So it's, I guess it's called floating point accuracy, single, double, whatever. This has what certainly any artist needs, or, you know, design-centric user needs in terms of the professional capability. I think, well, I'm going to find out. I think it does. The GPU, the Vega Frontier Edition, which I'll be breaking out here in a little bit, is it doesn't have certified drivers, so it's not legally ready. You know, if someone designed a structure with it and put it into production and it failed, that would be could be a very big problem for the manufacturer, whoever wrote those drivers, to guarantee that the math they're doing is indeed accurate. The Frontier Edition is kind of the recreational version. There's the WX9100. I think it might be out now, and the Radeon SSG. I'm showing pictures of the motherboard and the processor. I'm talking about graphics cards that plug into these slots. The professional version, which is not what I have, is the WX9100, at least in this generation, and the Radeon SSG. Both are, you know, supposedly amazing. I believe it as long as they work. They are super duper expensive. So yeah, I just want to make that clarification that I consider this an enterprise machine, because in the recreational design space, it can, I believe, manage professional workloads. So there we have it. Next up is tacking these fans on and start building this thing out, give it a little more form.